I'm going to try to do a quick ACI front clip review, kind of go through some of the issues that I had, some of the things I did. By all means, when I say what I did, this is my skill level, not saying that other people aren't at the same skill. I don't claim to be a professional or anything like that, but this is what I did with my skill level, how I did it. I'm not recommending you guys do anything that I'm talking about. I'm just going to explain what I did and kind of go through a review on this ACI unit, how it came to me. That way you guys have an idea before you purchase one. That's pretty much all I'm trying to get here. Not telling you how to set up your car to bond one of these on there. I mean, you can look at what I did and say, and that might give you an idea, but not really doing the whole how-to thing. There's just too many variables, and this thing is too expensive, and if somebody messes it up, I don't want it coming back at me at all. So without further anything, I'm going to jump into this and kind of explain the ACI side of things, what issues I had and what things I don't like and things I do like. So starting out with the very first thing that I don't like about this ACI is from here to here. Same thing on that side. My gaps from here to here, I guess that is what I should have said, are actually the exact same from door to door. On the original car, I had all the body lines 100% perfect. I spent a couple days getting everything to line up exactly right. So I mean, I know that I've even remeasured them to make sure, but and you're probably like, oh, you got a 40-year-old car, which I do, and that will determine on a lot of things and a lot of your fitment. Your cars, they could be tweaked and everything else. So what I did is I've actually leveled the frame, and then I've leveled the body, which it's all sitting on body mount, so very easy. I've also got a alignment that I just had done to it, not after, long stories, somebody kind of drove up and over the front of my car, so that's why this is going on here. But the issue with ACI is from here to the inside right here to right there to there was 3/4 of an inch smaller on the passenger side than it was on the driver's side right out of the box. That gave me 3/4 of an inch to work with on the driver's side, and it gave me absolutely zero to work with on the passenger side. With that being said, I have a four popsicle gap right here without even touching it. I have a 2 popsicle stack gap right here, which I'm okay with. I am not okay with the 4 right here. It is going to take a little bit of shimmying this door, and I've got about a popsicle stick and a half of gap down there, so realistically I can come this way and get it to kind of look perfect. And I mean, it will look really good, because by the time I take the gap out of over there and I paint this, my gap lines are going to be perfect. Well, pretty close to perfect in my opinion, and I'll be able to shape this, and actually it will be usable. It is just a big pain. If they would have gave me just a, I don't know, a 1/4 inch more right here in this spot. I mean, right here works out okay, but right here, if they would have gave me just a 1/4 inch more, it would have been awesome. So come down, gaps are pretty good, pretty consistent. We'll go into the other issue that I had, which, and you'll notice that you see one pop rivet right there, and that is only for my purposes of lining this up. Then I put one right here and one on the other side. Really was debating on it. Didn't want to put any pop rivet holes into this. This will be hid by the rocker board, running board, whatever you want to call it. And but I've got sort of clamps and everything to actually get this thing on there. I only did that because when I get this thing and I set it on, I want to hurry up and line it up right off the bat. So the other issue is these holes right here. You'll kind of see little divots, and I mean, you might not be able to see it on my phone, but it is actually right here, and it's over to this side, and then the same thing over there. These little divots, I mean, you might think that it's where you need to drill, yeah, and you might get lucky. But in my case, and I did not. I mean, none of this stuff lined up. I had to set it up, mark the holes, and then drill them. And then same with this. I had to take a Dremel tool and I had to route all these edges out to get this thing to sit back far enough to where it would actually fit in. And even doing all that, this passenger side still sticks out just a little bit. Now there is some things I can do to fix this. I can go and take this off, and I can shave the back of this plastic piece right here on the plastic to get it to fit in there, because I'm at a point to where if I don't want to take any more material out of the fiberglass, I've left plenty of material on it, but if I take out too much more to get this thing perfectly, then I'm going to start having thin fiberglass, and this is nothing, but I don't want to take a chance of any issues, cracking, or anything like that. Let's leave it structurally sound. Continue on down. This thing out of the box came extremely warped. This side was way up, that side was way down. Kind of had to shimmy it to get it to go on good. Then after doing all the stuff up to the front, what I did is let it just overhang, and we were probably about it was off level, and now everything's sitting really good after having everything leveled and locking it down on the edges. Everything has settled back. I'm not saying that's from an ACI standpoint. If they would have shipped the box better, though, I guess it could have been prevented. But that's just, I think, a shipper. They throw the box in there however it goes in there, and I think part of that is a shipping issue more than an ACI issue. Right here to right here on the passenger side was 3/4 of an inch smaller. On the driver's side was perfect. It was 3/4 of an inch longer. He gave me plenty of working material to go with. On the ACI, these are not cut out, so you will have to actually cut the square out. This is not cut out as well. Neither are these holes on the driver's side, just like the passenger side. These are not cut out as well. These were not drilled, so you have to drill them out. That's what I had to do. The pop rivets and the metal brackets are in. The hood right here on my car is extremely tight. It actually rubs and does not like to fit in. It will with force, and for fitment issues and stuff like that, we have got this in there, and to make sure that everything lines up. Hence the popsicle sticks. That's the gap I need to make sure that my hood sits just lower than this unit. That way I can shim the hood up, because you can't shim the hood down. At least in my experience, you can't. So anyways, that's kind of the thing. And you have this line for manufacturing purposes. It's very rough right here. It is very rough on the inside. It is rough right here on the edges of where the hood goes. All of them will need sanded. This is stuff that that I've noticed. It is a pretty decent unit minus the passenger side, which that's about, like I said, that's really my biggest downfall, is that the holes, anybody that messes with these units, I wouldn't really say anybody, but just in my experience, every single thing that I've had, the holes never line up perfectly. So I guess if I were to just jump into it, like I said, this is kind of what I do, but if I were to just jump in there and drill up the holes, in my instances, nothing ever would have lined up. So what I typically do is I set all my stuff up, I get it all mounted up, and then I'll set my running boards up, and I'll mark the holes, I'll pull the running board off, drill the holes, put the running board back on, make sure it all bolts up. I'll get everything all set up 100% like the car is done, and then after I do that, I'll take everything off and then get ready to bond it. That is my process. That's how I do it. It's time consuming. It takes a little bit more time, but my stuff lines up a lot better, and I don't have some of the horror stories that I've read about doing it this way. So this thing is really sagged. Like I said, it's probably from shipping, so I have to constantly support it up here just to kind of get that perfect shape going on. And I think that's mostly from not only it being out of square, but also a shipping issue. So this thing came in pretty decent quality. The only other thing that this ACI front clip does not have, or did not have, and any issues like that, one thing to look at though, because I have got some stuff from ACI that, like this air dam, that is still tacky, and the fiberglass quite is not cured. And that's just something when you're spending that kind of money on one of these front clips to really think about and just rub your hand around it. That's one of the things I do. I just make sure that it is set up. Now be careful, because obviously, it is fiberglass, and if you have sensitive hands, which is, so that's one of the things that I did, not telling you to do that, because like I said, it is fiberglass, and just want, you guys to know that that's pokey stuff, itchy, So, but anyways, if you're purchasing one of these, you're more than likely gonna have to get into it and stuff like that. I hope this review kind of helps anybody out that's considering buying one of these. Just kind of the things to look at. I'm gonna sand my edges of my hood down, because I don't want to cut the strip right there to kind of get that gap in there. That's what I'm going to do, not telling you to do that. This is an OEM hood, but the car obviously is not original anymore. So hope this video helps.